to the Ultimate Decades Challenge. We are here with the Wortham household, and we're doing something kind of exciting. I think this might be like the first time, or maybe the second time we're adding on to the household here, but after I got a bunch of really amazing mod suggestions from you guys, I decided to download the home business mod for this household so we can sell. I was thinking wheat because we have some wheat grasses that we can harvest from. I believe those are custom content as well, and so we can turn that into flour. So I was thinking we could sell flour, wheat, and some of our wooden statues. Now, as you can see, our bill situation is actually pretty bad. And by pretty bad, I mean significantly dire. So unfortunately, we just kind of have to go through and sell as much stuff from our inventories as possible because there's just no way we're gonna make enough money otherwise at the moment. The household is a little bit chaotic. We've got, well, it's been worse, and let me tell you, it continues to get worse. But we've got 2 babies, and this is gonna be our last episode ever playing without the new infants. Now, I'm really excited about the infants, although I'm also a little bit traumatized and scared. But Aureliana comes back to say hello. You can see that Carolina is enraged as usual. And I don't know, so some of you were suggesting that Sims, ooh, that did not go well. So Aureliana is actually pregnant, and I was hoping we could have a cute little pregnant woman interaction here, but Aureliana really said no to that. Okay, let's go ahead and we can sell some of these objects, and we will have John get to work making a few more. Oh gosh, look at the double rainbow. I love it so much. That's so pretty. So Aureliana comes over and she just kind of hangs out and chats with John. She and John have a pretty decent relationship, and so it's really nice. Here we are going to buy the mill. I don't really have anywhere to put the mill at the moment, so we're just gonna kind of keep it in the kitchen here, and we can make a bunch of really cool stuff from it, but we're just gonna be making some flour. We've also got a hasty pudding made by Carolina, who is thankfully not enraged at the moment, and Carolina's sister Sophia, my favorite sim ever, is over, and she is actually building a nice relationship with Gretchen, which is really lovely. Unfortunately for Carolina, there is a lot of laundry to do around the house. It kind of feels never ending, which is something I can sympathize with as a new mom, because our entire laundry room just is strewn with clothes all over the floor. It's a disaster. Oh, okay. Shaywin likes the violin. I'm gonna let that happen. And unfortunately, Shaywin is oftentimes very lonely. I think it's just a bit hard on him being the only kid proper in the household. We have some degree of division from a lot of the other households just because we're so far away from everyone else, and Aureliana and her husband Art Fleming and their kids aren't old enough to really be friends with Shaywin yet. Shaywin's just kind of in this weird in-between stage where all of his other siblings are just a lot older than him, or a lot younger. And so here's kind of how the mod works with having the home storefronts. Basically, all you can really do is just set things for sale and then open the store, and people just come and purchase it. There's no transaction interaction that you do like we would have in The Sims 2 and stuff like that, which is kind of unfortunate. Also, I get a notification that we have a death in the family, and Elsa, Carolina's older sister, has passed away due to a killer rabbit, which is just prime Sims 4. I mean, this game is so unrealistically lethal at this point. I am kind of shocked. But we do get a little glance at all of the cousins just to kind of see. We're also losing some of our chickens. So I am very curious as to whether or not you guys enjoy playing with aging turned on or off for the farm animals. I have it turned on just for some degree of realism, but I don't know. You'll have to let me know what you think. So that's just how I'm currently playing it. And of course the laundry is still going. We end up with a bit of a laundry glitch. I don't know why, but I can't hang things. Okay, it is time for labor. So Carolina is in labor, which means we are going to have 3 babies in the house. I can't say I'm excited about that. But you know, we really gotta get this train rolling, because as I mentioned to you guys last time, John did roll to die as a teenager, and so I'm pretty much just trying to crank out as many babies as possible, which means we have a lot of babies. Okay, it's a boy, thank goodness. So that's our heir, I hope. Oh my gosh. So we're going to name him Andre, and there we go. We have our little heir. Oh, that's such a relief. I was very concerned that like generation 3 and we weren't gonna have a male heir, which like isn't a huge deal, but historically it's, you know, what we're trying to aim for, because this is the Middle Ages. But that's okay. So Carolina is remarkably sad, unfortunately. I mean, she just lost her sister. She lives in a household that is just inherently depressing. I mean, no one is happy here. We've got 3 babies, which probably means no one is gonna sleep at this point. And yet, here I am sending Carolina and John into another romp in the hay. It's not that I want 4 toddlers at once. It's that I am afraid that Andre is going to die, even though Andre got really great mortality rolls. I did his rolls and they are beautiful. He survives infancy, he survives childhood, he survives teenhood. So that's great, but that doesn't mean he is safe from any fluke diseases. We've got the Dickensian sicknesses, so like potentially he could get sick, he could get the flu, he could get attacked by a killer rabbit. You never know. So we're really just kind of like tag teaming the baby situation here. It doesn't matter which baby is Gretchen's or which is Carolina's. It's just whoever can take care of the child in that moment is taking care of the child. So we have Celestina, who has aged up into a toddler, just narrowly missing out on that infant update, which is unfortunate. But here we go. She has black hair, I think just like her grandfather, Adric. Oh, gosh, it feels like ages since we saw Adric, which is kind of horrible considering the fact that it wasn't that long ago. But yeah, I really do wish I had more toddler CC, but I don't even know what I'm going to do CC wise when it comes to the infants, because I imagine it's going to take a little while for us to actually get some proper infant CC, although I'm hoping that someone will just easily convert all of the toddler CC to function for the infants as well. The chicken coop is an absolute nightmare. Nothing is looking good here. The chickens themselves, even after they leave the coop, are just ridiculously smelly. It's not a good situation. And we're going to continue working on grinding flour. It's a very slow process, and once we have a little bit more money, I'm probably, oh thank goodness, Carolina's pregnant again. Once we have a little bit more money, I'm probably gonna buy another mill or 2, and then we can actually kind of like keep things rolling a little bit faster. And so Carolina is spending a little bit of time on the loot. We have a pretty desperate fun situation in this household. I mean, we've got screaming toddlers and babies around every corner, and death also around every corner. I mean, it is a bit of a nightmare. But on the bright side, Gretchen has really kind of come into her own as a mother. She is no longer completely miserable all the time, which is really nice. I don't know how long it's gonna last. But she's also like the sole survivor of Generation 1. So, you know, we'll take this brief moment of happiness for her, and we will just let it be and enjoy the fact that she's being a good mother and a good grandmother. Yeah, I guess she would be a grandmother. But Carolina and Gretchen are honestly tag teaming the whole infants in the household situation really well. I'm pretty impressed at the situation. I am also losing my mind a little bit because I have the toddler bed in the nursery. Now, this was probably the worst decision that I could have made because the toddler gets woken up every single time one of the babies cry, which is often. And so I am just like, I don't know why it took me as long as it did to just give up and move the bed out of the nursery, but it's bad. It's so bad. And then of course Shaywin is experiencing nightmares and the monster under the bed situation. It's just, the house is derailing. "1322 arrives and Carolina spends yet another year entirely enraged beyond belief. And I also decide we finally have a really good amount of wheat. Let's actually start like a proper wheat field. Like, I don't know, I just thought it might look kind of nice. So I decided to start a little wheat field up in front of the barn over here. And even though she hates cooking, Carolina does, you know, make some pies for everyone. It is still kind of her job around the house. So, and as some of you pointed out, like, women in this era didn't have to like cooking, right? But it was still something that most of them had to do on a daily basis. And Sophia is back. I gave her a key to the house because Sophia is, like, the best. I think we married the wrong Bjergsen sister, to be honest, because Sophia is autonomously hanging up laundry. I've never had a sim autonomously hang up laundry before. I'm shocked. Oh, and John has gained a lifestyle, indoorsy. That checks out. That checks out a lot. John is definitely an indoor kid. Although, like, guys, every time I see John with Sophia, I am just more and more convinced that she has feelings for him. And I know that's a little questionable considering the fact that her sister is married to him, but she's always around. And every time she comes around, she is hanging out with John. Now, this brings me little pleasure, but it is time. The day has been reached for us to begin John's descent into illness. So instead of just directly killing him, for stuff like this, I like to use the like tragic illness or like fatal illness component to the life tragedies mod. And so he's just slowly getting sick. He knows that he's probably going to die because he's been feeling very off. Things are not feeling good for him. And so you can see him around the house crying, passing out every so often, although John has the lazy trait. So he oftentimes is passing out around the house anyway. So that's not exactly entirely new. But thankfully, the glitch that I have had going on with plants is sort of getting better. So I have to say harvest all for literally everything, and then they'll harvest like 1 or 2 plants, and that's it. Oh, John. Oh, he looks rough. Guys, he actually looks sick. It looks like he has the plague. Oh, dude, you're a couple years early for plague. I'm sorry. And Carolina's over here just eating pie over her dead husband's body. That is not a good look, Carolina. The toddler is angry. Carolina is angry. Oh my gosh. I mean, she doesn't even look distraught. It's just like, great. This is another hassle that I'm gonna have to deal with. Oh look, now I'm gonna have to run the family shop. This is just wonderful. So, Grim, who everyone in this household knows and loves at this point. Look at her just angrily eating that pie. I am this woman. I think she's just more enraged at the fact that she is inconvenienced by this situation. And Shaywin over here is also just eating pie, like, it's another death. It's fine. I have no full siblings because everyone's dying anyway. So it is now time to age up another baby. So let's see what he looks like. Okay, Godric rolled the independent trait, which is like my favorite trait ever. I think the independent trait is everyone's favorite trait ever, to be honest, because it is so amazing. And let's go ahead. I'm just gonna give him some cute little freckles, and we're gonna change up his hair a bit. He's got some like dark brown hair, a lot like Gretchen, his mom. So I don't want to kill him. We've got plenty of time with him, but we're still gonna have to kill him at some point during his toddlerhood, which breaks my heart because Gretchen is just starting to really like break out of her depression, and what's it gonna do to her if she loses another child? Like, this poor woman. I do we let her remarry? Like, I don't think so. I honestly feel bad having Gretchen have so many kids, knowing that they all just keep dying. Like, maybe there's some kind of hereditary situation going on with an illness, but we take poor John, our Generation 2 heir, we take his tombstone to the graveyard and we put it up on this little hill for him. So he'll get this little hill, and when Carolina dies, we can put her on the hill with him. And I just want to show you guys how bad this family tree looks. We only have one sim left in Generation 2, and that is Aureliana. And Aureliana is also supposed to die as a teenager. I can't win. I really can't win. It's not going well. This challenge is so hard. So this is a Metz kid. I think his last name is Metz. I don't remember his first name, but I just thought he looked kind of attractive, and so I was thinking, well, maybe we'll have him come around and he and Carolina can have a thing. But lo and behold, oh, I think his name's Frederick. Frederick Betts is just interested in Gretchen, and I don't know how I feel about this, because Gretchen deserves to be happy, right? She's been through the ringer. Yes, she is an evil sim, but evil sims can also still encounter happiness, right? Like, she doesn't need to be subjected to a lifetime of misery just because she has one bad trait. And let's be real, in The Sims 4, having the evil trait barely does anything, right? Like, sure, you have a couple negative interactions, but like, that's it. So I don't know. I'm gonna wait it out. I'm gonna see what happens. If Frederick comes back around and is continuing to autonomously flirt with her, then maybe we'll consider it. So everyone is really sad. Even Carolina, she finally kind of came to her senses and, you know, realized the personal loss that she has encountered. I mean, I'm sorry. I literally can't get over this family tree. It is so freaking bad. I mean, how? Okay, I'm good. I'm sorry. I will stop talking about the family tree. At some point, I'm gonna need to go around and dress up these cousins so that they look historical and we can like invite them over for a little kids club. So I can't even believe it, but with the new year, it is already time for Carolina to give birth to another baby, which means we're gonna have like 4 toddlers and babies in one household. So I'm a little bit traumatized by the fact that we're going to have to deal with this, but c'est la vie. It's what we have to do when John dies so young. So young. I think I'm also making it a little harder on myself using preteens. All right, so we've got Sigrid. I'm gonna call her Sigrid. Are you kidding me? We have twins. All right, great. Sigrid and Gregoria, 2 daughters. So we don't even have really an heir and a spare situation. We just have an heir and a bunch of sisters, which isn't inherently bad. It's just a little concerning, since statistically it's quite possible that Andre is going to spontaneously die like many of his ancestors before him in The Sims 4. Wow. 1 child, 2 toddlers, and 3 babies. And we've only got 2 adults in the household. This is not going well. So, since Reliana had her baby, I want to go ahead, get things rolling on her next one. Because in about 3 days' time, she is going to pass away, according to the mortality rules. So we are effectively saying goodbye to Generation 2 already. It feels like we've had very little time with them. But that's just kind of the way the dice rolled this time. So Carolina does come over and, you know, she wants to meet the new baby and see their family because Carolina and Aureliana have a decent relationship at this point. They started off a little rocky, but they've definitely sort of come around to amicability at the very least. So I'm aging up Peyton, their son, and you can probably guess why. And it is not because it is Peyton's time to age up. It is because Peyton rolled to not survive childbirth. So narratively, we're going to say that Peyton was stillborn. And so we go ahead and we get rid of Peyton. And of course with the twitchy, stretchy animations that... can someone figure out a better way to kill toddlers? I feel horrible saying that every time, but can we? Like, enough of us play this challenge that surely someone, would want to come up with an alternative way of doing this that actually looks a little bit better. Also, all the foxes come in the house too to check out the death, which is a little bit interesting, but it is what it is. So we have Aureliana pregnant for the last time, living literally her last days. What we're going to say is that Aureliana dies in childbirth since she's now pregnant, and exactly like 3 days from now she will give birth and needs to die. So we're gonna go with that narrative. It's just the way things are, unfortunately. It's really hard for me to imagine that it's only 1322. We've only been playing this challenge for 22 years, and yet we've already pretty much lost all of Generation 2. It's just, it's hard. It's hard out here in the Middle Ages. So I think this is where we are going to wrap things up. We're going to take Peyton's grave over to the graveyard to add it to the, family collection at this point, which is just getting ever larger. And at some point we may need to move all of these underground into a crypt and make a little mausoleum. So we have a lot of work that we can do. So I will see you guys next time with the exciting infant update and also the new expansion pack, which I want to get myself for my birthday next week. A little early. So I will see you guys next time with hopefully less death, but assuredly some death.